Today on Ellis Talk. But first, I want to give a shout out to No Politics clothing line, as you see on the shirt right here. Give a shout out to the owner CEO, Slack Boogie. And if you want to order something for yourself, you can holler at Slack Boogie on Facebook. He goes on the Slack Boogie. They got some good shirts, pants, all of that. So check them out. Music publishing. Now, independent artists, sign artists, whoever. Now, of course, it's good to own your masters, your recording, but if you ever get off a publishing deal from a late record label or publishing company, and it's a good deal, meaning they own 50% of your publishing, and you own 50% of your publishing. That's just, the rights to your songs, to your music. If it's like that, I would say it's a good deal. Because at least if you take it, you still have 50%. Now, for those that want 100% and nothing else, then that wouldn't be a deal for you. So that's just something the artists I can advise, I can suggest. If you can still have 50% in the label or the music publishing company 50, it's not a bad deal. It's a good deal. And everything. But at the same time, I'm getting ready to bring on a special guest for the day. He's a barber. He got his own barbershop. And also, he's a cousin of my family. So he's coming on next. Well, right now I'm about to bring on a special guest, Pucci the Barber. So we're about to talk about some things. You can see everything you got going on.
Alright. What's up with it, cuzzo?
What's good?
Not too much, man. How y'all doing out there? What's going on? Pucci P in the house.
So when did you first decide you want to start cutting hair? First off.
To be honest with you, I'm gonna give you the exact story, cause it's unique family. For me it was I'm trying to think of the exact year, but I don't even remember that. I just know it was my junior year prom. Casey was up at ECU playing football in college, and he came home around this time, around prom time. And, up until that point, Mama had cut our hair growing up. She was our barber because she was a licensed cosmetologist. So she used to cut our hair every time we needed a haircut growing up. You feel me? So we didn't know nobody else touching our hair. I had got a few pop wipes, you know what I'm saying? But Mama was doing it for the free. You already know. So I ended up basically he offered to go and take me to the barbershop for the first time in my life, and he took us to our cousin, to fam Purcell. And Purcell cut my hair the best I had ever experienced at that moment. And after that cut, I went on to prom and all that, and bro went on back to school, and now it's time for another cut. And I know for a fact back then, cuts are $20, which is why I try to stay within that range on original OG pricing. But I know Mama wasn't finna give me $20 to go take me all the way to Gainesville to Purcell. So when I saw my hair start to grow back, a little piece, I ended up basically, I got her clippers, got in the bathroom, and I took my time and I brought it back up to where I saw perfect hair. And then the line for the edge, I went and traced everything. I took my time and traced everything the exact same way that he had. And from that moment, after 6 months, I just kept doing the same thing. Every time I go back, I do it back up. I kept it cut fresh like he had. After 6 months, we at school up there at Santa Fe, and Joe was asking, girl, you know how it be, hey man, I need a haircut. Homeboys are like, man, who cut that hair right now? Da, 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 da. And shoot, everybody go around the circle, bro, who cut you up, bro? Such and such, man, who cut you up? Such and such. I ain't going to him. Man, Pucci, who cut your hair? Shoot, me. At this time, So I let them know what it was. Like, man, stop lying. Man, I'm for real. I cut my own hair, and I'm fresh because I'm keeping up the same cut that Perk had put on. Excuse me. So basically, that's what got me started, cuz. I started doing it for free. Joe was on the team, football team, teammates in the locker room, bathroom, wherever. I was bringing clippers to school, all that, man. And, it wasn't a lot, but I was doing it. And then when I didn't cut in school, I was cutting at in the shed, the backyard of my mom's shop. And that's what kicked me off. That's what made me start. And it just kind of stuck from there. I went to cutting out little cousins at Sunday dinners. And it just kind of spiraled from there. After a while, I went to charging. I started charging with $5 a haircut. Then it went up to 10, and it stayed there for a long time. And now, shoot, I just basically doubled that. And I ain't greedy. I only want 20 now. So that was my start. And it started with me not wanting my mama to continue to cut my hair and wanting a fresher cut. So I traced over one of the best haircuts I ever had, and it made me into the beast I am today.
So what you say, growing up in all those years, that's how you develop your skills, like being able to cut.
Yeah, I would say that because cutting hair is definitely repetition. So when you do something over and over and over again, eventually you find little techniques and little tips and tricks to make it better for you. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just that repetition of cutting all my little cousins every single week. We would go to Sunday dinner and stuff like that. From there, I had a couple people, because I was still out, preacher sons be the worst one, so I jumped off the porch a little young, thinking I was missing out on a couple days, and I ended up running into some real big homies. And one of the main ones, I'm gonna shout him out. I got to, because he's the only person that ever really teach me anything with the Clippers. Was my big homie DC Floyd over there in Williston, Florida, man. That was one of the most monumental men on my haircutting journey, because he showed me everything he know without being a gatekeeper. He didn't hold back. You feel me? And I'm talking about everything from razor comb cuts to actual clipper, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The only thing we didn't get a chance to really go over was the straight hair. With most straight hair clients. You know what I'm saying? But as far as cutting hair, but people we see every day, he taught me everything that I knew, other than me being self-taught, you know what I'm saying, with the tips and tricks that I learned. DC Floyd, that's the goal for me right there, you know what I'm saying? That's my big homie to this day, and there's nothing but love and respect for him, you know what I'm saying? I'm really stepping for him, believe that. I think that answers your question.
So what you say, being a barber is a life skill.
Yeah,
we don't always need haircuts.
That's true. I say that. I can agree with that and say that. Depending on what type of barber you are. For me, I'm a barber that I feel like a couple of people can relate to in their life. So as far as having it and using it for people to do and deal with their daily life, I say it is for me a life skill. Because it's a skill that I've had for more than half of my life so far. And it's a skill that I'm hoping I won't ever lose. You know what I'm saying? So, that's I can say yes. I can answer that with a solid yes. Yeah, it is a life skill. And people do need haircuts every day. I just want them to come see me. Straight up.
So anytime you cut someone's hair, how much passion goes into that?
Oh man, listen. For you, that's a great question, cause, man, I don't do nothing but passion cuts. You hear me? Like, man, that's such a deep question, because I've been going back and forth on what I'm going to name my shop. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta bring that in somewhere. I'm finna take a note right quick. Excuse me, but I got to catch this while it's on my brain right now. You just profoundly asked a question that kind of just solidified something for me that I've been going over in my mind for a little while now. I'm gonna type this voice note. Well, I ain't gonna even do it. I'm gonna just type it in. You know what? Let me go back. But I don't care if you see it because you family. That's it. Mm. That's it, cuz you just helped me create live on the air. I think you don't gotta read it out loud, but I think that's the name on the board.
Okay.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna triple it up just like that. Man, that's deep. So I would say, you know, to answer your question, it's nothing but passion comes behind each one of my cuts. You know, and man, it brings my mind back to when I was young and locked up. I was around some OGs. We just, you know, sitting around talking and dicing it up, you know what I'm saying? And OG say, man, young buck, make sure when you get out of here, you follow your passion. You always go for your passion. So I say, OG, how you know what your passion is? You know what I'm saying? How I'm gonna know what my passion is? You know what he told me, cuz? He say, anything you do that you don't mind getting paid for, it ain't about the money. And cuz immediately I thought about haircuts. Because my passion grows from haircuts is I love to make people look and feel good about themselves. Boost that confidence. You know what I'm saying? And give people that look that they're, you know, that they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? That clean, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking my best right now, so I'm feeling my best. And if I can help you look good and feel good, I feel like I'm doing my job. And that's enough passion for me. The money comes as just an add-on. That's why I can never be greedy in this profession. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't mind having the lowest price. It's like you looking for somebody to come sit. You know, I ain't saying you in general, but just why the next man looking for somebody to come sit with them for $30, $40, $50. Shit, I done cut 2, 3, 4, 5 heads at $20 a piece. And you see what I'm saying? Shit, I might be going on to the next part of my day. Like you still waiting on one or two to come for that $30, $40. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like that. I believe there's power in numbers. So my passion is to help people look and feel good, and that's behind every cut. That's my passion. That's what fuels me. You know, that's what I do it for. You know, if I can't help you look and feel good, I feel like I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? And that takes time, which is why I take my time as well.
So what you say, passion first, money second.
Yeah. Follow your passion, it'll lead you to the money. Because remember, the OG taught me that your passion, you know it's your passion because you ain't worried about the money. You doing what you love to do. So if you follow your passion, you'll never work a day in your life. You know what I'm saying? And the money's still there. You feel me? Needs still being met, and people still feeling their best, looking their best. So I definitely say passion first. Find that passion, and the money gonna follow.
Now, as a barber,
Mm-hmm.
would you say sometimes you might end up in a counsel too? Because when somebody getting a haircut, they be talking about what's going on, the problem, or this and that.
Yes. Man, this is my ministry. I'm gonna be honest with you, cuz this is my call. This is what I was called and created and chosen to do. Along with me helping you look your best, feel your best, I'm able to give you certain advice that the Spirit leads me to impart in you while you're getting your haircut to help you also with the inside. So it's not just about the outer appearance. You know, like the scripture says, I don't know the word for word verbatim, but I just know it was along the lines of when Christ was talking to the scribes and the Pharisees. He told them, you wash the outside of the cup, it's the inside that needs cleaning. You see what I'm saying? Your lips are with me, but your heart is far from me. So for me, it's just basically a counselor, motivator, encourager. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I preach. You feel me? Depends on the situation. You know what I'm saying? But I would consider myself definitely an encourager when I'm with the clippers in my hand, and with the clippers and outside the clippers. You know, behind the chair and beyond. You know what I'm saying? So Definitely, definitely consider myself a counselor. And I've counseled a lot of people that keep it G, whether they like me or not. You feel me? Because
Right.
God gave me something to tell you, I got to tell you. You feel me? I can't hold that back. Because once I do my part, it's out of my hands. It's in God's hands. So, I would say that. Definitely.
Now, as a barber,
Mm-hmm.
you do all type of cuts?
Man, anything would happen. Mm-hmm. I even thought about starting waxing and doing esthetician type work and all, man. Massages. Oh, man, this is just the beginning, man, with what I got going on so far, man. I just had to get my business in order and get myself situated and straightened out. You know what I'm saying? And stop trying to, I ain't gonna say try, just stop being so hardcore. You know what I'm saying? And feeling like I got something to prove when it's already been proven. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Now, having your own barbershop, how does it feel to be a business owner?
Man, I'm just excited right now. I ain't even been caught up in the feeling of nothing but excitement because it's all new ground for me. You know what I'm saying? I've never taken barbering serious, and I've been cutting hair for 15, almost 16 years. I've never taken it serious until a year ago. And shout out to Peanut Man's for giving me the opportunity to come back home and get established for those 6 months that I worked with him in the shop down at A1. And opened my eyes up to a different side of things that I never, at the point where I was at that particular moment, I wasn't able to view. You know what I'm saying? Until I actually took myself outside the norm. You know what I'm saying? And that's trying to dedicate myself and work on me. And so I definitely say that the experience of going through this journey is more exciting than anything. So it's just nothing but excitement. I haven't really even hit any pinnacles yet, the highs or the lows or anything, because I'm trusting God throughout every step of the way. So I ain't doing this by myself. I ain't doing this at all. It's all, everything you see, everything you hear about from Pucci P is all God. I didn't ask for what I received recently. You feel me? I say my prayers, I make my peace, and I keep putting one foot in front of the other. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just the work of God, and that keeps me excited in itself. And it keeps me humble and motivated to continue to keep it up. You know what I'm saying? So.
Now, would you be passing down generational wealth to your kids?
Will I be passing down generational wealth?
Yes.
You know what? It's funny you asked me that because lately I've been doing so much research and studies outside of barbering that whether I cut hair or not, that's always going to be the goal. Titles, deeds, land, all that kind of stuff, man, that's mandatory for the babies, which is why I sacrifice a lot of stuff. And I don't allow the right hand to know what the left hand's doing. That's how I move. But I let my kids see what they need to see, so that when I'm not around, they always have their eyes on what they need to be viewing. You see what I'm saying? So definitely, the barbering will be a small portion of that wealth transfer, but it's gonna come through knowledge, and I'm gonna make sure I instill that knowledge in them babies, so that they'll be able to they can be, like the word said, they can be in the world, but not of the world, be not conformed. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I'm bringing my kids up. I let them not see me. I don't celebrate any holidays. I celebrate them. You know what I'm saying? I come for the family gatherings and the fellowship and all of that. I won't ever despise or neglect or anything like that, the fellowship of my family. But most importantly, I just want to raise up my children and how God is leading me to raise them up. So as far as it said, wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So ultimately, that is a goal of barbering. Just to answer your question in the small talking, that's just a small aspect of that. But definitely is part of the plan.
So would you say you're working for your last name, not your first name?
You know what, cuz, with my views of how I operate, I hang up the bloodstained banner of God, and and do everything in his holy name. In the name of Jesus Christ, Yeshua, from the Creator, Most High Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? I make sure that it's done in his name. Because if I take care of his name and then say, if I be lifted up, I draw all men unto you. So for me, it's just basically humbling, staying in a humble position, making sure that I reverence him in everything I do and my way. He said the steps of the righteous are ordered by the Lord. So if I take care of his business, he's gonna take care of mine. And it don't matter what my name is at that moment. You get what I'm saying? It's gonna be what he wanted to be. You feel me? So I can't answer to say yea or nay to that. I just know that if on one hand, if we looking at it, the name Hunt will be remembered even more than it already has been from my father, his father, and so forth. And I'm just trying to bring more good to it, if anything. So.
Now, you grew up in a church.
Definitely.
And so at what point of growing up did you start your personal relationship with God for yourself?
Ooh, so let me tell you, it's different strokes. It's different strokes for different folks now. So what may have worked for the one person or the two people over there ain't working for nothing in this household over here. You see what I'm saying? So now I've been the prodigal son. I've definitely rebelled. You know what I'm saying? And I've gotten a whole slew of life lessons learned, like embedded, you know what I'm saying, in my brain just from the experiences that I put myself through, along with me putting my parents through. So there's always a lesson to be learned in everything. It's a lesson or a blessing, but a lot of times people don't realize that those lessons are already blessings. You see what I'm saying? So I believe that before, and that's crazy because I just had this talk before I came over here with my spiritual twin, my cousin Deontay D. Lee. Shout out to D. Lee, by the way. It's nothing but blessings, nothing but love. Man, before Jeremiah chapter 1, it reads to us that before he formed us in the womb, he already knew us. You see what I'm saying? And so my walk and my journey was already began, whether I had the knowledge and experience that I've received along this walk, but it had already been. You see what I'm saying? That relationship is already there because I didn't call or choose myself. You see what I'm saying? So God already had ordained the things that we're seeing coming to fruition now, way before I was formed in my mama's womb. He said, I had plans to prosper you, plans to give you a good, I can't say it verbatim, but you know what I'm talking about. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 1, starting at verse 1, read along and you'll follow exactly what I'm trying to get out right now. But I would say that my journey began from my birth, from my conception in the womb. It was already called into destiny. It was already destinated. It was predestined to be what it is. And it's just God allowing us to find ourselves, to put us in perspective, put things in perspective with experience to help someone else. So my journey started over 33 years ago, almost 34 years ago, before I was formed in your cousin Kim was better. I believe that. And I just been able to have experiences to kind of get to where I am today that helped me draw near to him. Even though I started with him, it's like you stray away, but you get brought back through your life journey, your experiences and stuff like that, to where you're able to, build the character and be who he's called and chosen you to be. Fully, without, without measure, without anything holding you back. And I think that's where I'm forming to be right now on this 33rd year around the sun.
What you said the last few years, you got closer to God.
Yeah. But I feel like I've always been close. Because, like I said, it's different strokes for different folks. I know I'm a chosen one. And I know a lot of people may feel like that, but it's evidence, with what I'm speaking. You see what I'm saying? And I know that's what draws a lot of haters, you ever heard a song called "The Devil Don't Like It 'Cause I'm Blessed Like That"? That's part of my journey. Was that I was close to him from before he formed me in the womb. And it's I've strayed away, and every time I come back, he's embraced me even more. So yeah, In the short answer, yeah, I can't say that. But with detail, it's like I've never been apart like that because everything that happens, our lines are just a blip. You know, it's a short time here. So I've always been in his bosom. I was giving back to him just like Coach Kente was on the movie from less than 3 weeks old. You know what I'm saying? I did that to each and every one of my kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's just difference of how you move. And, you know, everybody has different views. You know what I'm saying? But I would say, yes, I have been closer than I've ever been. But then again, really have I? Because I never left his hands. I've always been in his hands. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a kind of twisted answer, but that's really me. You feel me?
So do you think someday you might want to go into ministry for yourself?
I'm already there. Every day I unlock that shop and I pick up the clippers, even over the last 15, 16 years of me doing that, it's always been there. You know what I'm saying? It's always been me set apart, peculiar, that weirdness. You know what I'm saying? The anointing that I carry, that I possess in this vessel, you can't contain that. You know what I'm saying? And when the Holy Spirit flows and he moves, you either with it or you ain't. Like the scripture says, he that has an ear to hear what the Spirit is saying, let him hear. You feel me? So I would say that, I'm with you. I'm on that. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did.
Yes, sir.
Now, being that it's only one God,
Mm-hmm.
one true God,
Mm-hmm.
but you got Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
you got Jehovah's Witness,
Mm-hmm.
and you got Scientology, where they believe in science.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you think it should be just one and not two and three, Christianity and Jehovah, because it's only one God, and both believe in God.
Mm-hmm. First thing that comes in my spirit on that is that the house divided can't stand. You see what I'm saying? And we know that God is not the author of confusion. So anything that comes in your life that tries to destroy what God has already set is nothing but the work of the enemy, because if it confuses you, it has to be the enemy's head poking in somewhere. You see what I'm saying? That just construes your vision the way you can't see straight or vividly like you should be able to. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I do believe that it is one God. You're right, correct, and that there should be one way, and that's what if you really know what's going on right now in the world, that's what's happening. Everything is realigning back to how it originally was. Money, all this technology is gonna go away, all that. You see what I'm saying? Nothing new under the sun. It's all finna fall back to where it was. That's why we need to be learning how to farm. You know what I'm saying? We need to be going and marking our territory, getting into the right way, studying to show ourselves approved as workmen unto God. We need to not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. That is important, because if you are in that area and that connection, and you know that you're connected to the source, you can't, that one source, not meaning like you know what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, I agree with you, that one source is going to make everything okay. It's like a connected rope that even though it's dark and the water, if I'm drowning out here and they throw me that life raft and I put it there, I get it in the inside, no matter what go on in the water, because I go underwater, somebody on the end of that rope can always pull me in. And there's only one rope. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get to one place, that's dry land. There's not many ways to do that when you're trying to be saved. You see what I'm saying? It's just a lot of things can happen in the midst of that. That makes sense?
It makes sense.
Yes, sir.
I mean, for those who don't know, and they'll ask somebody, oh, what does it mean to be saved? What does it mean? What would be saved?
Well, how would I respond to someone asking what does it mean to be saved?
And what you say from, they might say that too.
The first thing for me is to go to the Word. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all we have when we don't know. You feel me? If God doesn't quicken your spirit to give you something to speak, and you're not instant, in season and out of season, to be able to dwell on whatever needs to be said at that moment, then you have that word to fall back on. If ain't nothing else, then we're going to go back to the foundation. You get what I'm saying? So I would go to the Word when Christ told whomever believes, you know what I'm saying, the Son, that I come and dwell and live, that they shall be saved. And you say, call upon me, I show you. Jeremiah 33:3, he said, call upon me, I show you great and mighty things which I know of not. So if you believe and confess with your mouth that Jesus is come, or Christ Yeshua has come, and that is God in flesh, and has brought on and he's bared everything that you can ever go through while carrying on this vessel, that you will be saved. You can receive the Holy Spirit. You can receive forgiveness. You can receive an infinite love, amounts of love, understanding, wisdom, knowledge. You have what you ask because you ask in that name. You understand what I'm saying? So to just believe is the main thing that I would encourage someone to do if they want to know how to be saved. Believe. If you can't do anything else, just believe it. You can't see that, but we all believe we can breathe. You feel where I'm coming from? So yeah, you may not have seen any of these aspects, but the fact that you're able to read it and see it on the pages, believe what you read, what you're asking him for, what you believe everything about it, and you will be saved. I believe that. Is that clear?
Very clear. Now, over so long the years, Hollywood, when they make movies about Jesus, they have him as white.
That's true.
I don't believe he's white or was white. So, what you think his race was? Egyptian, African?
So now I don't really, because me, man, at this point in life, a lot of us got something in us we don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the rapes that are taking place over time. And, the evil has run rampant over the earth. But that ain't stopped with your original blood. It should just be one, say that faith the size of a mustard seed, it'd be one drop of his divine, the tribe of Judah be in your lineage, then you say you automatically grafted. You see what I'm saying? You just have to come to the believing of that. You see what I'm saying? That's the process of being saved also. But I've never been caught up on race. One of my best friends is a white man. And I love him just like I love my other best friend, who's also a black man that I grew up with a little bit longer than him. But they get the same amount of respect no matter how far we go without seeing. But just to get back on topic with the question, I would say that he was definitely, for him to be able to do some of the things that the Bible mentions, like blend into the crowd when he was over and when he fled from those who were trying to kill him, and he was able to blend in easily. Well, that's because he looked just like them. And where were they in the Middle East? They were of a darker complexion than the lighter because of the sun. You see what I'm saying? Now, you want to go into where they say his skin was as bronze, and he had that hair with wool. Come on, man, that's obviously describing somebody about ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? But as far as where we are now and how evil things have gotten, I don't think it matters at this point. You see what I'm saying? Now, at one point, it may have when God had certain rules and regulations, like don't go over there and don't mix with that. You know what I'm saying? Try to keep your lineage pure and clear. That's of the Old Testament. But see, when Christ came down in the flesh to dwell, that changed all that. He fulfilled all of that. So whether he was white or black, it's not of interest to me because it really truly matters what he did for me. And the fact that he died for all the wrong that I could ever accomplish down here on earth. And that his love is never ending. And that he'll always be there if I need him. And he's shown himself mighty in my life multiple times. From being on the verge of death to all kinds of stuff happening. And I've been able to go to my root and just pray. Not caring what the color was, but I need you right now, Lord God. You understand what I'm saying? I need that healing. I need that deliverance. I need that breakthrough. And every time he answered me. And he didn't care what condition I came to him in. Neither my brothers that are white. You see what I'm saying? When they came to him for the same scenarios. Now, if it goes down to where you have separations and, they talk about the 144,000 and all of that, I feel like once that day come, say, behold, then he say, Paul, like I'm going to say it the way Paul gave it to us in the New Testament. He say, we don't know when that great day comes, what that new body is going to look like. We don't know what color it is. You see what I'm saying? So that showed me there that it doesn't really truly matter because when that day comes, we'll know everything we need to know. Until then, you go for what you know and hold on to that foundation on it being built on Christ, on that word, and you build up and learn and experience from there. So I would say that definitely of a darker complexion, but for me to be able to just say whether he was black or white, Sure, he could have been a white man with a bad suntan. You know, I don't know, but I don't think that's going to stop me from reaching where I'm trying to go as well. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Now, over so many years, you know, when we hear about sin, hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that sin is disobedience towards the will of God?
I'm gonna say it like this, and I feel like, and this is me speaking this, and this is what's been placed in my heart to say on this. Sin is just the free will that God gave us to make a right or a wrong decision. You see what I'm saying? When my child, I'm gonna speak from personal experience, disobeys a verbal order or instruction that I give to them to try, I know that I'm telling them to help them to better the situation or the outcome, and they deliberately don't do exactly how I told it to them, and they experience a hardship or they fall down and hurt themselves. You see, when something happens, I don't love them less because of that. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like we all have free will, which is why some will make it and some won't. Because if your heart is hardened at the wrong time, then it's not you don't have enough time to be reconditioned to come back. I ain't got time to throw the life raft out to you to pull you back in with that one rope back to this one way, this one God. You jumped off the ship at the wrong time, and I think that choice is what. How'd you word the last part of the question? You said, is that what is sin?
Y'all saying, would you say sin is disobedience to the will of God?
Yes.
Disobeying.
Yes, because had you obeyed, the scripture said to obey is better than to sacrifice. When you don't do what God has or instructed you to do or giving you clear instruction to do or orders to do, you forfeit a lot of things that you go through, a lot of extra stuff that you probably wouldn't have to go through had you just obeyed or had you tried to make the right decision. So ultimately, yes, sin is disobedience to the will of God, but more importantly, I think that sin is mostly the free will that we have that God has given us because He loves us to not force us to do His work or His will, but to lovingly come and present ourselves. You see what I'm saying? And in spite of what else we got going on, when you come and love me willingly. You know, in spite of your sin, in spite of you living any kind of way, because God think, because I get saved today and I smoke cigarettes or I smoke weed or I drink, don't mean that I'm not saved, even though I know me smoking and drinking ain't the will of God. But I'm not delivered. I'm saved, but I'm not delivered. So therefore, if I have not been delivered from that area of my life, that doesn't make me bad to where I won't make it to do what God created me to do. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, but more importantly, that's that free will that God gives us that should draw us. You see what I'm saying? That should draw us to Him. And once we're drawn to Him, I think there is where it becomes more and more important to make those right decisions so that you never know who's watching around. That's going to be encouraged because they see you walking in the right direction. And they're going to come walk close behind you. They may not walk beside you, but they may be 10 steps behind you. You don't even know because you ain't looking back. I'm moving forward. But that's when you keep on keeping it. So be not weary of well doing, making righteous decisions. I'm going to choose the right way. At one point, I used to choose the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like me making the righteous decision is more being in the will of God than me failing at a bad habit that I picked up over this journey. You feel me?
Now, for those who, want to get a cut from you, how would they be able to find you? Your contact. Your barbershop location.
Okay, so just for the shout out purposes, if you know anything about High Springs, Florida, I am located right next to Lee's Daycare. That's in the hood, right across from the park. So my building is definitely going to be the first building once you make that turn on Douglas Street, right before the daycare. We sit side by side. So that little beige building that's right there, that's where I'm at. The address is 18155 Douglas with 2 S's Street, High Springs, Florida 32643. My phone number, direct line of communication, is 352-514-5844. You want to reach me, just reach out, man. Even if it's deeper than a haircut with me. Man, it's so much that God has in store for those who love Him, and say all things work together for good for those who love Him and called according to His purpose. I believe that. So reach out and let's just see what God has in store. But if you're looking for a haircut, we're gonna knock that out of the park every time. They call me Steph Curry lately. I ain't missing.
So you wanna give any shout outs?
Hey man, I think I've done enough. Shout out to God, big God, Yahweh, the real creator, the one creator of all things. And of course His Son, Him in the flesh, Yeshua. Without Him, none of this would be possible for me to receive the forgiveness that I've received. Shout out to everybody that's doing what God created them to do, that He's called them to do. Shout out to yourself for just being willing to do what God has called you to do. Shout out to the ones that ain't quite got it together yet. Shout out to the ones that's on the verge of getting it together. Shout out to that little boy, that little girl that don't understand what they're going through, but be knowing that God will make a way. Hey, man, shout out to just being able to shout out at this moment, man. It's my first time, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. Hey, man, God be the glory forever and ever.
Pucci, thanks for your time.
It was a pleasure, man.
Same here.
Reach out, and I look forward to doing the next one with you as we progress.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And let's talk on to the next one.
Hey.